If you are like me right now, 4 years ago, you are at home right now thinking about relocation. You either have to relocate for work, trying to get closer to family, or you are ready to retire. And I am here to help you narrow this down. There are 5 things to consider when you are relocating to a new city or state. I moved here from Miami, Florida 4 years ago, and we had to do a ton of extensive research, and it was not the easiest choice. But from my experience, here are the 5 things that you need to consider when relocating. My name is Vanesa Paz. I'm a Tucson Realtor here in the area, and I help people like you every single day relocate here to Tucson, Arizona. If you are ready for your next real estate move, feel free to call me, text me, email me, drop a comment down below. Let me know where you are at in the real estate process, and I'll be more than happy to help. Now, if you're in this current situation of relocation and maybe you're out of state like I was, it can be so daunting and stressful. And hear me out for a second. I know what you're going through. So many things you got to think about, so many moving parts, and I'm here to help you as much as I can. So let's get right to it. So the first thing to consider when relocating to a new city or state is how long are you planning on being there for? So some people are either retiring to spend the rest of their life there, or they're going for work. It's either temporary or it's a permanent position. So this is going to be super helpful for you for a couple different ways. So let's say you are retiring, you know, hey, I want to be in a place that's really quiet. This is where I want to spend the rest of my life with. So that's going to give you a really good plan head out of where to go, what to look for. If you're here for work temporarily, then what I would say is that what I've had people do is that they just end up renting. They end up moving in a place that's more fun, more exciting, a lot of things going on, and they just want to enjoy that year or two that they're here for. Some people are going to be here moving permanently, and that's another thing to consider. If you're going to be here for the rest of your life, you maybe want to plan on buying a home. Where do you see yourself living for the rest of your years here in the new city? So this is really going to help you. This first step is really going to help you really think about where you need to go. So the second thing that I want you to think about and consider when relocating is to work with an agent right away. So with myself, I help people out of state every single day wanting to move here to Tucson in specific. And let me tell you, it really helps the process be so much smoother. So if you have a home currently that you're trying to sell in another state, I can get you connected to an agent outside of the state right away that I personally work with, so we can make that transaction as seamlessly as possible, so you don't have to go out there and look for an agent. And so when we moved here 4 years ago, we actually didn't even use an agent, and it was a lot of extensive research on our end. We're already very busy people. We did work full-time jobs, we have our kids, and having to do all that research as well was very daunting. So I can only imagine having an agent that can guide you from beginning to end would have made it so much more seemingly. So working with an agent right away, like myself or anybody in whatever city you're going to or state, is really going to guide you the right way. If they are in YouTube like myself and they're showing you different neighborhoods, they're showing you the pros and cons, reasons why, that's going to be so helpful for you because you already know what you're getting into before even getting there. A lot of things I didn't even consider until I started living here, all those pros and cons. I did not know anything about that until I moved here. So that for you is going to be a really helpful step. So the third thing to consider when moving to and relocating to a new place, either city or state, is gonna be coming up with a plan. So what is your lifestyle, number one? So are you a hiker? Do you wanna be near hiking areas? Do you wanna be near downtown and where all the restaurants are, the city life? Do you want to be in the rural area where it's nice and quiet, you don't wanna be bothered, you wanna have a lot of land around you? You need to figure that out. So whether you're going to be retiring or you're coming with kids, you need to think about school districts. What are the best school districts? Do you want to be around other families? You really need to consider that. It's going to make your life so much easier when relocating. And the other thing, when you're working with an agent already, after you get that done, get a pre-qualification. And this is something that I tell all of my clients all the time. Get that pre-qualification as soon as you can. I see a lot of clients are just looking at homes. They're not really sure what their monthly payment is going to be, how that's going to look like. And they have an idea because they know what they can afford and what they cannot, but you don't really know until you speak to that loan officer and you give them all your stuff, and they're going to come up with a plan with you. And if you think you're not ready for it because maybe you don't have funds yet, maybe you still need to sell a house, we do have contingencies for that. We do have plans for that we can build for you. The loan officer I work with is really great. It's a preferred loan officer of mine, so I always connect my clients to this person, and she is really good at coming up with a plan. If you're retiring and you're waiting for a home to sell, we could even put a contingency that upon a sale of a home, we can still put you under contract so you don't lose out on that home. You already know what your monthly payments are going to look like for a certain budget, and the agent is going to be able to look at specific neighborhoods just for you. Any city, Tucson, or wherever you end up moving to, it's very big. There's so much going on, and you can go crazy just looking at the different neighborhoods and trying to figure out. But if you already have a budget, we can already narrow that down and make that so much easier for you. Now, thing number 4 to consider, and this is a really big one I don't hear people talk about much, but I get this question all the time, is should you move your furniture? And I'll tell you my story really quick here. So we had a 2-bedroom apartment, very small. It was just about 1,000 square feet. I mean, we didn't have much compared to now, and we still paid around $7,000 to move it cross country. And a lot of things ended up breaking along the way. We had some of the kids' beds that ended up breaking, things that didn't even fit in the new home. So maybe something was too big, maybe something had a different shape that didn't fit right. And to me, it is just a waste of money at the end of the day. We moved here in 2020, so I can imagine after COVID how much more expensive now with gas and petroleum, so much more expensive, how much more you're going to be paying for that move. A lot of people, if you still want to move your items, they use the pods. I've heard great things about it. A lot of my clients have used this, so that's something that I would recommend. At the end of the day, if you can just sell it in your home where you're currently living, make that money, come to your new location and just rebuy it, I think it's going to be so much better. You're going to have new things anyways, maybe different things that are going to fit in your new home. It's going to be so much better. Now, if you have some items maybe that are your very special original items, I would say bring them 100%. So go ahead and bring those over. But the majority of the things you can find here. Now, a lot of people will ask me here in Tucson, so what kind of furniture stores do we have here anyway? So we have pretty much all of the same furniture stores. Ashley Furniture is a big one here in the San Juanita area. Up north too, there are a couple different ones called Sam Levitt's is one of them, but you're still gonna see a whole lot. And there's a couple of boutique furniture stores that are a little pricier, but they're absolutely gorgeous. So you're still gonna be able to find all the furniture you need here. Another question that I get asked a lot, is there Rooms to Go City Furniture here? They do not have that here, but there's a lot of like Ashley Furniture and Sam Levitt's all throughout the whole city. So it's very beautiful, just as beautiful. So you're gonna be able to find all your furniture here. So the 5th thing to consider when relocating is to pre-plan before you even get here. And what I mean by that is that whether you're buying a home or renting a home, make sure that on the date that you arrive, if you're bringing a pod, if you're bringing furniture, please know at what date that's gonna be here. For example, I had to wait a whole week before our furniture got here, so I knew I had to buy things beforehand anyways. I had to spend money on kitchenware and whatnot. Maybe that's something you can set aside and not even put it on a pod. If you could take it with you somehow, if you're driving to the new city or state, take those things that you're gonna use on a daily basis with you. Sometimes pods take time. The storage, all the moving furnitures, they take time to get here sometimes. So keep that in mind. Make sure your utilities are ready to go on the day of move-in. Sometimes people forget this really important step and then you have no electricity or water. So make sure you're the exact date you're coming. If you are a working family where you need to go back to work, make sure you can find preschool, whatever it is that your kids are gonna go into. Make sure that you have all that type of coverage as seamless as possible. I help my clients all the time with school districts, have some great preschools if you wanna hear about them too. So feel free to reach out at any time and I'll be happy to help with that. So if you are ready to move to your new city or state, doesn't matter where it is, if it's Tucson or any other place here in the United States, feel free to reach out. I do have contacts in all 50 states that I work with, which are my preferred partners. So feel free to reach out. I'm happy to get you connected to all the right people that specialize in relocation and help you get your family ready to go. Now, thank you so much for watching again, and until the next video.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Click on the video to the left to see a new video suggested by me. Make sure to follow me on social media and subscribe to this channel, which really supports me in creating more content like this one. Until next time.